Hey guys, it's me, Pavo, back at it again with a new Yandere Simulator video. I still don't know how to do video introductions. Let's go. So I guess you can call this video part 2, or continuation, or whatever you want to call it, to my previous video, which was redesigning Yandere Simulator's protagonist, Ayano Aishi. In that video, I redesigned the character, gave her a new outfit, just kind of to revitalize her and make her a little more visually interesting than what the current design is now. So in this video, I won't be focusing on the art direction. Instead, I'll be focusing on the story that Ayano has, and in all honesty, there isn't much that she has. Cool. So I'm going to try to make her backstory a little more compelling and more interesting, seeing as how I myself am a character designer and I'm studying to be a character designer. Backstories are kind of important because usually that determines how the character is going to look like, behave, and what they're doing and all that kind of hoo-ha. Since Yan-chan doesn't have that much of a backstory, I'm allowed to go crazy and go stupid as far as I see fit, so be ready for me to tear the story down and rewrite it from the ground up. We begin. Let's go. So I guess before we begin just tearing apart the story and rewriting it, we should probably establish what exists already. I know before I said she doesn't really have much of a backstory, but there's something there regardless of how little or boring it is. Cool. So Yandere-chan acts the way she does because of a genetic disorder that she received from her mom. Dad, not liking this, tried his best to give her a normal childhood, but he just couldn't stop her natural impulses and natural behavior. Ayano, her mom being proud of Ayano because she acts just like how she did when she was a kid. Eventually, Yan-chan bumps into Senpai in school, he helps her up, and she falls in love with him, then begins stalking him. A little while after, she gets the text from Info-chan warning her about Osana, not Jimi, and the events of Yandere Simulator begin. So, the backstory is not bad, it gets the point across, it's just kinda meh, not a lot really happens in it, so it really just kind of gives context, but it's just sort of boring. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's as kind of minimal as it is, because he could have gone a lot edgier like some of his other projects, Lunar Scythe, but whatever. So it's not bad, it's just not interesting either. So some things that I actually like about this is that, number one, the condition Yandere-chan has isn't anything that is known or diagnosable. That way other mental illnesses and neurodivergencies won't receive any negative stigma, which I actually really like that, so I'm actually gonna keep that part into my rewrite. Something else that I forgot to mention is that her parents are out of town for 10 weeks. That's why the events of Yandere Simulator are able to happen without any hitches, at least in the at-home settings and the outside of school missions. So I do like the idea of the parents being out of town, but I also like the idea of the parents being there too. So I might take those two ideas and combine them together. Then finally, there's Info-chan. So I'm actually completely cutting Info-chan. I don't like her as a mechanic. Calamara made a really good video covering why Info-chan shouldn't be in the game, or why she shouldn't have as much like power as she does in the game. So I'm gonna link that video down below. Please go check it out. And if you want context for why I'm gonna be cutting her out, because I think Calamara can make a more cohesive and understanding video than I can over that topic. So yeah, check it out. That pretty much covers everything that I wanted to bring up that already exists in Ayano's story that I'm going to change, cut, etc., etc. So now with that, we begin. Really quick though, I am going to make the story more coherent, I'm going to start from her childhood, work my way up to her adolescence, and then do the implementation and how she is in the game. This way, it kind of just has a nice cohesive flow to it, so you guys don't get lost. Now, we begin. Ayano Aishi was born to her mother Ryoba and her father Ryuji Aishi. Ayano actually had a pretty normal childhood growing up. Her dad works as a business consultant, so he made enough money to support both Ryoba and Ayano and himself. That way Ryoba is able to stay at home and raise their daughter Ayano. However, because of what he does, he's constantly sent out of country or out of town on various business trips. Sometimes they can last a couple of days, other times they can last months on end. So with that, he isn't at home as often as he'd like to be, but when he is, he makes sure to try to spend as much time as he can with his daughter, so he still feels active in her life. With that, it kind of seems like a picture-perfect family. Ayano being a well-behaved child who's very quiet and keeps to herself, a loving wife who is able to make a home-cooked dinner whenever he comes home, and the dad who's able to afford and have enough money to support his entire family. It kind of seems like the picture-perfect family, but unfortunately, that perfect picture was just about to shatter. Around the time Ayano turned 12, her mother Ryoba was arrested and tried for the murders of various girls when she was in high school. This was happening when Ryoba was trying to get the affection of Ryuji and was eliminating the competition. Eventually, her mom was found guilty and was convicted and then sent to a criminally insane asylum for her murderous tendencies. To stop bringing shame onto the family, Ryuji divorced Ryoba, and now it's just him and Ayano at home. Throughout her years, Ayano realized that she was a little bit different than her peers. She noticed that life was a lot duller for her. It's not the fact that she couldn't feel anything, it's just more she couldn't feel very powerful emotions, or they weren't as impactful to her. Kind of like the world was a little bit dimmed and not as bright as others would see it. However, this all changed one day when she met him, Taro Yamada. Ayano was always a little socially awkward and didn't have the best social graces, and because of her awkward demeanor, she had been known to be bullied a little bit. Because she wasn't known to get that upset, she was an easy target for bullies to get their frustrations out on her. They knew that she wouldn't talk to anyone about it. Taro, seeing this, walked up and stopped the bullies from bullying Ayano. This is when she fell head over heels for him, and her quest to make him hers began. So that pretty much covers the backstory of my rewrite for Ayano. So now we move on to the implementation phase. Basically, this is going to be how the game changes and varied gameplay elements are going to change based on the backgrounds that I introduced. So the game would begin a week before the actual rival week. This is where we would get a quick flashback of all the events I just talked about and step by stepping in and helping Ayano. And then someone snaps us out of this flashback, that being Ryoba. Ayano decided to go and visit her mom in the criminal ward. Her mom telling her that it's okay and that she had the same crushes and all that kind of stuff when she was Ayano's age. And this is when Ryoba brings up the idea of eliminating a rival through violent means. So if you ever would like to receive a type of violent scheme or anything like that, you can have Ayano visit her mom, and her mom will give her the type of elimination methods needed. This way, we don't have to have InfoChan there to give us different types of schemes. And I bet you're wondering, well, Pavo, then how am I supposed to get the more social manipulative schemes, like matchmaking, befriend, and things like that? Well, this is already implemented into the game. Ayano can watch different television programs, read different forums online, or read different types of manga to understand how to deal with it. Granted, it'd have to be probably done through QTEs and timed events and things like that to add a little more challenge to it. But I think it can work out if the effort's there and it's done thoughtfully. So if you choose to obviously go down the Ryoba route, you'll get more of a toxic ending, where if you choose to go more of the social manipulation route, you'll get more of a brighter or happier ending. Along with that, something that I wanted to bring up. I brought up that Ayano's parents aren't home. So I have it set up this way for her backstory. Her dad is still active in her life. However, he isn't as proactive due to his job. So this is where possibly a difficulty setting for Yandere Simulator can be introduced. So there could be an easy, normal, and hard mode. Easy mode, Ryuji will be gone for all 10 weeks. He'll be on a business trip, you don't have to worry about it. Normal, he could come home around like week 5 or 6, and on hard mode, he'll either be there for all 10 weeks or he'll only be gone for 1 week and then there for the 10. Why is this relevant? Well, think of it like this. Yandere Dev said himself that he wants to introduce more missions that are outside of the school setting. Kind of like what it is right now for Asana, where you need to break into someone's house and steal Asana's cat back. The thing is, this happens at night after school. So if you try to leave, obviously, a teenage daughter tries to leave their house at like 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night, the parent's gonna say, hey, where are you going? So you might have to do like a mini talkback QT, kind of like what Life is Strange 2 has. You need to be able to answer the rapid fire questions Ryuji's giving you, and if you fail, you're not allowed to leave for the night. Along with that, you can also spend more time with Ryuji to raise up a separate reputation stat, a parental reputation stat. That way, he might be more lenient with letting you out at night, or you might have a wider margin of error if you mess up the QTEs and things like that. Possibly even a favor system. You could just say, Dad, I really just need to run out tonight, and he might just let you. So that could also be a really good idea. It just kind of depends on what you want to do in the game, what Yandere Dev wants to do with this information. So I think instead of just cutting out the parents entirely, add them as an extra element. It could add a nice challenge and also add nice rewards as well. So these are just a few of my ideas on how to implement all these new ideas into Yandere Simulator. And that pretty much wraps it up what I would change in Ayano's story. So I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about my rewrites down below. If there's anything you'd add, you'd change that I added, things like that, what you thought of the video, and yeah. If you're interested in kind of the future of what I have planned for the channel, stick around for the next couple of minutes. Probably not, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. So I am planning to take a break from the Yandere Simulator content. I am getting kind of bored of it, and I want to do other stuff because I don't want my channel to be associated with just a Yandere Simulator art channel. So yeah, I have my next couple video ideas planned out, and I hope you guys look forward to them. Sorry it took a little longer for me to get this video out. My semester was ending, so I had to worry about finals and you know, finishing up any late work and all that kind of stuff. And now I should hopefully be able to release one video a week, at least for the next couple of weeks since I'm on summer break. So I hope you guys look forward to that. And until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao.